So, welcome everyone to more serious video stuff here. Rust, memory safety and stuff, so good it refuses to compile itself, right? So this is the latest Rust version. In the previous video I shortly mentioned, and yeah, rebuilding everything. And yeah, error field is never read. ID here in source bootstrap lib 280 ID string. It's like, seriously, what the heck? Are other people not bootstrapping their Rust compiler as clean and reproducible as we? How are other, I mean, is Rust bootstrap broken? Is Rust broken? I don't know. How is this released and in production? I mean, it could always be failure on our end. I mean, but this is a really crazy one. So I wonder if we can just, oh damn, don't tell me, I clean, perfect. That sucks a little bit because now we need to rebuild that for quite some minutes. That comes from cleaning the stuff. But yeah, this is the stuff that currently, this was faster than I thought it would. So the crazy thing is also, I wonder that so what is really crazy to me is that we built Rust. So this is like the second time. So we bootstrap Rust. So this is with our freshly built. So Rust could build itself. And then we use that bootstrap Rust to cross-compile from our AMD 64 to any other system. So it's rebuilding itself. And I don't know, maybe it only occurs if you rebuild Rust 157 with Rust 157, but this is, I don't know, I googled that, I didn't like instantly find something, so that is a rather crazy one, right? And when I'm at times a little bit negative and depressed and stuff, it's like, yeah, for 20 years I see build errors, and I'm freaking sick and tired of build errors. I mean, I want that my stuff freaking just works to I'm not like, you are never reading ID, man, for... Anyway, let's, I have no idea how did we even build that, like with X build, or yeah, also the other theme here, every, 24 freaking build systems, and conf dir, I guess I worked too much today, or any other day, conf, what was it even, Rust C conf, yeah. How do we build this with X dash? I mean, obviously, this with what would you build stuff if not with ./x? Hello, build something. X, yeah, xpy build. Good that we checked this. X. Hello. Xpy build, obviously, because yeah. So this is relatively early in bootstrapping, and I'm so perplexed how this can, I don't know, do you build Rust? Does it happen to you? Maybe we probably, I mean, if we can quirk this, I don't know if we can simply source. And I mean, our Rust bootstrapping otherwise previously worked for like at least half a year now, right? So it built with a previous version. I mean, it's not like our setup is entirely completely broken. 280 ID strings, so that is in derive debug struct. This is in struct create of all things. Yeah, I'm puzzled and perplexed and confused and stuff. So this was our YouTube URL, some Stack Overflow stuff, of course, low on a struct module. So I don't know, do you just group it like that? Let's see what happens. Yeah, this is also the thing, and welcome everyone, and I hope you're all doing well. Hey, maybe this build? No, only live on this channel. Crazy, incompetent, and what was the other? What was the? Except uneducated cow, not verse playing piano 4, but otherwise, what was the other? Unsuccessful woman distribution, yeah. I don't know, why does it not? I mean, Why? I have no, um, I don't know. I'm lost. I have no words anymore. If you're wondering why did I create this crazy YouTube channel by like the latest and greatest state of the art computer science, memory safe, outstanding compiler and language, it's like can't build itself anymore. It's 157. There you have it. I don't know. I mean, I'm a little bit. Even if this all builds, I mean, even the Ryzen 5950X with 96 gigs of memory and water cooling and stuff, it will build a while on this. I mean, don't try this on your Intel Core or something. So even if like this builds, no, I have somehow the feeling it will not build, but yeah, that is a crazy one, and that is for the crazy ones, for those misfits who want to try to fit the square in the round and stuff. For the troublemakers and I don't know. Yeah, this is also why, I mean, I'm in general not the most impressed with the readability of Rust, and so in general, despite all the hype, for me, Rust is, sure, I love memory safety, and who would not love memory safety and stuff, but somehow I'm not getting warm with this language. I don't like the syntax, it looks really, and I'm not a fan of C either, right? I mean, if then at least like C++ or stuff, or I'm certainly not saying no to Zig or Julia and stuff, but yeah, tell me, comments below, fan of Rust, maybe I should, hey, next poll, all right? You probably want to share and subscribe, especially for our amazing polls there on the Moorman channel of Rust, fan, yay or nay. Yeah, there we have that. Also tinkered here with VI. I think maybe that this VI behaved like that might have been an older installation. I just installed, because this on this server like node installation on my workstation, this is etcsd version that is 21.5, and obviously we have done a lot of YouTube videos and fixes since then, and it looked like using a newer Vim apparently magically fixed it already. So maybe I wasted like 30 minutes earlier for like next to nothing. Yeah, so I mean, otherwise it builds, I mean, this is so crazy. Is that, but you also would, so what we have done, I have a perfectly working Rust installation. We use this Rust installation to bootstrap a new Rust, and that builds, it bootstraps itself, it builds, it's like, it builds a cross compiler with all the support standard and other crates and stuff. And then we use that to build a cross compiler. I don't, yeah, I mean, what puzzles me a little bit is that I don't find really much other stuff when I Google for this. I Googled for that there eventually somewhere. And so I wonder if I should commit this. I mean, probably, okay, what we actually could do is, even if that builds, which is also, yeah, all the 200 micro dependencies, amazing stuff, right, of Chauik engine and Rust HIR pretty and tracing trees and stuff. Who would not want 200 micro dependencies? Like Rust resolve and data flow and middle and stuff. What I probably should do is only commit this if that can survive. But also the level of testing, right? If not only building that and patching that, but also testing the most testing, probably I should only commit this if it survives bootstrapping itself again and Firefox, right? So that is probably the minimum. I only wonder, did we previously, oh, I think, even because this is a test build, we have here 24 test builds, right, for ARM and RISC-V. And that is the 32-bit x86, which also nearly nobody else is building anymore. And why can't I one? So that is not the best test build, but I'm sure this will fail for all the other test builds anyway. By the way, I think I have a PowerPC build running. Did we build, what is it? PowerPC 64LE. So that is certainly, did we, let me check, I'm losing slide overview of all our dozens of our 2 dozens, not 2 dozens of supported architectures, because everything else would be too low hanging and trivial and not ambitious and stuff. Yeah, minimal desktop. So that probably should include Firefox. Which, by the way, probably should do like that. And Firefox here. So there we have at least a 64-bit and proper and modern. Can you call proper 64 modern? Probably, right? Yeah. So at least we have that. And because the risk is if I commit this and this is somehow Rust 157 corrupting itself in some kind of internal compiler error kind of scenario, I could even make it myself, not only for all the T2 users, the growing amount of T2 users out there and their year of the Linux desktop, but also make my own life harder continuing to compile T2, right? If I now commit this, if I distribute this Rust version to all my machines and then next week or next month realize, darn, now I have a broken Rust C everywhere that isn't even capable of building itself and bootstrapping itself anymore, that would, hey, build completed successfully in 6 minutes. Yeah, so that is a totally crazy one. It's like, seriously, what the heck? I don't know. What do I even type here? Maybe I shouldn't use an Apple keyboard. So yeah, there you have that fix file diff of hotfix create ID patch. And as we are professionals, we best include the log output here, because that is what professionals do, like that. And then I have the next test already running for PowerPC64. Somehow, yeah, this is somehow getting, as a hobby is slowly and steadily getting a primary occupation here. Hotfix create, oops, there. And yeah, maybe we commit this, maybe I leave this here in testing. Oh, what is this for typing today? I think I only had one coffee today, so excuse, oh, also only live on this channel. So. Anyway, yeah, don't expect proper typing from me with one coffee. So we probably, let's touch that, because I don't want to touching the log for skipping over that. Don't want to waste 6 minutes, and I'm more interested in whether freaking Firefox builds. So the question is how many minutes. So yeah, I still wonder if this year I should invest into a Threadripper. I have the feeling, I was often joking, static as has work on the microkernel begun. Well, it has begun a little bit, but yeah, you're right, I should do that more. Day 11 of 2022, and yeah, we have not done enough microkernel stuff yet. But what I previously wanted to say is that I'm not the most convinced that not everything, like a lot that I see of Rust, maybe even 90%, but for sure 80 or 70%, like basically at least 66.6% of what I see of Rust, I'm not the most impressed, happy, and satisfied, and triggering in me amazingness to immediately adopt the stuff. So yeah, as much as low tech that is, microkernel, I said it before, probably like lightweight C++ or something. Anyway, what did I want to say before that? Microkernel, and what do we have decided to just steal binaries from other distributions and bootstrap with that? What? I also tried bootstrapping Rust on a custom disk before, ultimately gave up. Yeah, this is also why everyone should not custom distribution but use T2, because there is some unsuccessful YouTuber who somehow runs an amazing cross-compiling distribution supporting 24+ architectures. Yeah, what I previously wanted to say is, with this Threadripper, probably I should make more proper build and review videos here, right? You probably want to share, like, and subscribe for that. And yeah, probably becoming more famous and more rich with review videos and not boring memory safe language runs. Because the problem is, if Threadripper is nice, I certainly could use like double, triple, or 4 times faster builds. The problem with the Threadripper is of course freaking expensive, right? Probably 5K for the processor per spot. So yeah, even if you put then in some memory, then you are like easily at 7,000 something euro, which is a little bit much. If you have 1 million subscribers, which you probably want to share like subscribers, then it's not so much an issue. But the crazy thing is, of course, even if I make more proper videos, which I probably should, it will of course not finance itself. And then the resale, I wonder if you wanted to resell it a year later on eBay, because then with Zen 4 coming and AM5, that it's, the crazy thing is less, yeah, probably how much faster. If this is again 20% faster, I don't expect Zen 4 with AM5 to have that many more threads. Then you are an early adopter with the first gen DDR5, although maybe they are being second after Intel. You would hope that they have their memory controller stuff rock solid. But you are still early adopter with not the latest and greatest performing DDR5, expensive DDR5. And yeah, I mean, the crazy thing is that's the problem for YouTuber. People tell me, yeah, make YouTube videos like review and stuff. The problem is I have like code to do, and then like I have no time left for proper reviews and stuff. And the crazy thing is then you would need to focus on the review and mainstream stuff that brings the views and monies. And you don't have the time for your development. It's a little bit the crux. Yeah, on one side it would be somewhat exciting to have a Threadripper for even faster builds. But the problem is to make it really financially viable. The Ryzen, yeah, 1000. Also, yeah, even the Ryzen I brought overpriced when it was new. Yeah, the Ryzen is below 2000, and the other would be, yeah, it's of course, yeah, more performance, but also more money. Yeah. So that is building. I guess I can. Oh, this also failed. How did that fail? What did we? Oh, this was just by test build. This wasn't PowerPC64. That is there. Others also only using 5 jobs because we others are both only. We are stupid. It would build much faster if we would. So this is only using 5 jobs because we usually build 24 architectures. Yeah, leave in the comments below. But the problems of people always say yes, Threadripper content and stuff, and they don't need to spend the money to buy that. So yeah, what kind of load did we even? Yeah, we probably only had a load average of 10, of course. That was not epic Threadripping. What did we build there? OpenSSL. So yeah. So we need release soon. Yeah, right. We are still. The crazy thing is with microkernel, we're still on the Perfecting T2 release track, and I discovered at least the EFI stuff could be a little bit more polished. So, do I even have a to-do on that? We really have release soon. Basically, there is one major to-do. Not sure, did I? Actually, this I wanted. Okay, we have maybe 2 things. Oops, this was deleting the wrong line. So I will probably do at least 2 things plus a little bit random stuff what comes by. I will probably implement what I had on my to-do for quite some time is for non-EFI we have chain loading, another OS, of course one line in the config file, but for EFI it's a little bit more complicated. So I wanted to write some code to scan for other EFI partitions and show them as chain load. That takes maybe 30-60 minutes at night or something. I hope it's easy scriptable. The question is, yeah, we will see how scriptable this is, how easy. And the other is grub2 EFI devices. So we support some stuff. I noticed, I thought we covered all bases, but it looked like we have there some at least regression or with implementing full disk encryption versus LVM2. There apparently is some combinations that do not just work. I figured out at least. So the thing is, on the data center, I tested not the latest release. I tested 2111 or so, the release candidate. But I guess it's not actually, we could, now that we have Subversion back, we could check that in grub2 whether we have done something in December, because I don't quite remember. Selectively include architecture specific patch Drupal Spark. No, we have not. So yeah, we should do that. So the thing is, and that is also super time consuming. Just improving the code easily 30, if not 60 minutes, plus all the testing, probably mostly done in QEMU then, for obviously the convenience, and yeah. So easily 2 hours just grub EFI installation, glue and stuff. What else do you have there? Plan for following a design similar to that of SEL4, something L4 based. The design will probably different because I wanted, again, probably less performance and more educational and like more minimal. Angelo writes, Threadripper isn't too good of an investment if there's just going to make slower build systems any. Yeah, but I mean, again, that's still a good investment. If they make slower build systems, you still have an epic Threadripper to combat that. By the way, I understand preferred code off stream, but serious perhaps code building microkernel from scratch would attract. The thing is, writing a microkernel is a year-long project, right? I can't. Actually, I live stream already enormously live, right? Especially all the low-level stuff I've done 3 years ago. Also, a lot of VGA stuff, like hardware isolated, like ET4000 and Cirrus Logic or so. I'm on 486, and actually I've done there a whole lot. But I also realized, and we will continue, I mean, also all of this stuff is basically coding, right? And I want a more successful format. So, I mean, there is a lot, we have also done this as grub EFI, like shell scripting already previous videos, but I personally understand that these are not the most entertaining videos, and I want more successful videos. So instead of, and so I can't randomly live stream that. I think for most people also don't want to watch something 3 hours, and you can't build that much in 3 hours, right? So this will be often like weekend projects or night coding of often it is researching, like reading specifications, typing down all the MMU page table formats for x86 and PowerPC, and a lot of stuff. It will not work at time, and then it's an hour of guru meditation and stuff. We will sometimes live stream some stuff, but for most of this stuff, I want a more successful, popular, and educational format of that people really watch it and learn something in 20 minutes and not 20 hours. And especially the live. This stuff I can live stream. I know what to expect. The other stuff, I don't want to live stream reading, guru meditating, documentations, and stuff. And but we will see. As usual, there will always be enough live content here, especially when I sit here and it's like, what the freaking heck are they thinking at Rust? I mean, what my best friend and I were always joking, so the recurring joke here, when we were 16 and like in school and stuff, my best friend and I were always joking when we saw the stuff from Microsoft, the DOS and Windows stuff, and like all the craziness in the 90s, we were always thinking like, such drugs we want ourselves, like whatever drugs Microsoft is handing out there on their campus to come up with this crazy broken and garbage systems and APIs and stuff and specifications. So yeah, so no such guru meditation here. So what we were waiting, so yeah, probably doesn't, What else do we have there? How are builds going? Yeah, with this Threadripper, I mean, maybe, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should also just, maybe I should try to, but like make some more polished, like not like Linus. I mean, the crazy thing is, I understand Linus tech tips are bloody popular, but the crazy thing is, I don't even like most of their videos the most, right? A lot. I mean, I understand they. I mean, he also worked freaking hard, certainly similar to me. And just like when I code here day and night, they made videos day and night. I can appreciate. I mean, and on one side, it is totally amazing what Linus Tech Tips has pulled off there. And they certainly have a big team of, what is it, 30 people by now or something, and all their merchandise sales and stuff, and some of their merchandise. I mean, I wouldn't buy their underwear, but their water bottle, maybe not the worst thing. Maybe some mouse pads or mod pads there, or how they call this, not the worst either. But otherwise, technical wise, their videos are often rather lacking, imprecise, or at times even incorrect. Although, yeah, and sometimes I wonder, doing PC building for probably 20 years or how long he's doing it, or 15, he should at times know better when he at times says technically quite incorrect stuff. I wonder if it's possible to build a like more professional kind of. I mean, Gamer Nexus is certainly testing quite some stuff, but the crazy thing is, I mean, my content here is pretty unpolished. The crazy thing is, maybe Gamers Nexus is often more technical correct than Linus Tech Tips, I would actually say. But somehow I'm not liking their content the most either. I wonder if I should try. But this is also the thing, right? Then it becomes even more, right now it's like more of a hobby fun thing of communicating our development here with the world. If you like really hire like another person or two to produce more professional YouTube videos like those, then it becomes a much different thing of actually having to reckon all this ads revenue and promotion stuff to actually pay for all the salaries. But with all the Threadripper stuff, otherwise, to like really make it more popular, and yeah, we will see. Maybe I should hire more people. Dr. Schubert says should make themselves some T2 merch. You are talking about wallpapers or printed hoodie or mouse pad or question, the Filco keyboard is still there. Yes, it's in the office. I mean, with me, I have, except this piece of garbage that I mostly use for convenient Mac. I have actually here the Tech, but the Filco is in the office. What question? Otherwise, I have here this Tech Yoda 2 also, which I otherwise. Yeah, the thing is, I don't use that. Although this Tech Yoda 2 is actually, I like quite a lot. Actually, where's the cable to that? Do I have the cable in there too, or where did I put the cable for it? No, somewhere I need to find the cable. Here, I see the cable. Cable's in this. The reason I use that more is that the Tech Yoda 2 I use them more with microprocessors, controllers, and P3 and stuff, and so forth. But yeah, what is your question regarding? I also have a disassembled RC car. I still need to glue and repair the RC car of my child. So where's even that here? So RC car review. It survived from Christmas to last week, so that makes it a broken plastic in the gears in 3 weeks. So yeah, don't buy cheap garbage, can't recommend. RC car review coming up next. And maybe Maybe we should make a gluing a RC car, cheap RC car plastic glue video. So yeah, what's your question with the Filco keyboard? As a Filco keyboard I still have that, and I will obviously keep that. For the form factor and stuff, not like 100% satisfied, but the Filco is quite good, and I anyway keep it for the PS2 stuff, right? This is one of, I specifically brought that for PS2 compatibility, so that is for the SG Octane and other such vintage gear. Topic in 100 seconds, pretty popular format nowadays. Educational videos, you know, gloss over lots of details, but what you have to do with people, short attention span. Yeah, maybe I should try that more. Thanks for the tip. Static wouldn't honestly mind multi-tool wallpaper like the one you have in your office. Yeah, we coffee mug, that's the most representative one. What you said you should make, right? Do you mean you should make it or we should make it? So the problem with merch is also I ordered this. Guess what it is? Video coming up next from China. So I ordered this 6 weeks ago, and it was stuck in French customs for nearly a month, for over a month, and so much to yeah. And the merch stuff, yeah, international shipping is a total pain. I mean, maybe you would need. I also wouldn't want to run a warehouse myself. That is like totally waste of time and resources. So I think, does Linus Tech Tips, do they run their warehouse? At least they mentioned they hired even more people. But what is also going on here with I probably should also go to the family because we have it. What time do we even have? 19. I think it's a good time to go to the family. Merchandise, yeah, international shipping is a pain, and I wonder, maybe I should, but maybe I should hire something, maybe I should buy something for a test at lttstore.com, and certainly not their bloody underwear, which, I mean, I also find it rather annoying there, especially their underwear placement, product placement. I mean, the water bottle, I don't mind that much, but it's also getting, I don't know. But maybe their own shout-outs for their water bottles are less annoying than their segues to their other promotional stuff. Anyway, maybe I should order something for a test and see how they ship it and how it goes. But the thing is also, I wanted actually some stuff from the... what is with the Pine 64 store? But yeah, long story short, international shipping is total pain in the ass, and I sort of don't really feel like wanting to deal with it. I think the only way to do that would be with fulfillment companies, but then it's also quality and stuff, and yeah, I don't know. But actually, I think, how many? I need to check, but I think the YouTube merchandise, was it 100k subscribers or... I don't know, there was some integrated, actually I need to check that. But with this, where is this Pine 64? But even getting some of this stuff is annoying, right? What is even 2-meter power cable? Like a soldering iron. Do they even... Which actually, I noticed that the other day, so I actually was thinking to order that and review it. It's actually maybe potentially a nice thing for USB heads, even on community price, retail price. How is this community price cheaper? But anyway, usually such stuff, the device warranty is only for 30 freaking days. I don't really have much trust into their soldering pencil, right? Makerspace, soldering iron ticks. The problem is also, if you or ship stuff internationally. I mean, beside like for small companies, it's freaking expensive. It's also the bloody customs handling, right? Where do they have the country? Do they update the shipping costs? Where is the shipping? Enter your address view. Okay, street. Let's fantasize some street in 789 Berlin. In like what streets do we have there? You know what? Kurfürstendamm. 42 probably exists. Do they really want everything, right? Where do they? I want to freaking know the shipping costs. Oh, come on. Me, yes. Yes. Me in. Not shipped to different address in 03123456 whatever. I just want to freak getting a quote at not me at gmail.com. Here is EU standard shipping method. I wonder if they ship it from. I mean, that's not that bad for soldering iron. Maybe I should test that another day. I wonder if they have an. I think iFixit now has a European warehouse or something. Yeah, so stuff is bootstrapping. So far, so good. Statigas, do you see T2 becoming its own? What exactly do you mean by that? I mean, considering an operating system is the whole of a kernel and stuff, T2 is an operating system, always has been, right? Which part of not being an own and independent operating system do you mean there? Or do you mean migrating to microkernel? T2 will remain a build system like that. The microkernel stuff will be entirely independent of that. But otherwise, hey, welcome Danny. Otherwise, in my opinion, T2 is a full and own and independent operating system. But leave me in the comments below what you mean. So that's it for this video. We have Rust building, which is amazing. I will test this a little bit more. It is, yeah, this is crazy. 2022 and Rust doesn't build itself with dead code in create ID. Yeah, anyway. Crazy times. You would think as much type and memory checked Rust is that it would be more sophisticated and stable and stuff, but somehow it isn't. So, Anyway, I think I'll make a poll. I think I'll make, have you tried Rust? Yes, I love it. No, or whatever, and see how many other people. So I think Rust has a lot of marketing. I mean, Rust is not that bad, right? It's just that it somehow, I'm not getting warm with it. I don't a lot of technical implementation details, and it continues to not impress me in various breaking ways, which, yeah, and I think Rust has a lot of marketing fans. Like I think Rust has a lot more fanboys somehow. I'm not even sure if so many of them used Rust that much and just believe into the marketing text of memory safety and stuff. Statigas, it's powering its own microkernel and requiring Linux integration. Well, you can already use T2 with other kernels, right, on building on macOS and BSDs, and we will just for the just because we can, we will someday also support some BSD kernel like Dragonfly BSD or something, or NetBSD for simplicity or something. And the microkernel stuff will be independent if we need to get a lot of stuff to work. So we will not use T2 to build the whole userland for the microkernel stuff. Maybe later, like after a year or two, if the microkernel, if any kernel stuff of ours, in the beginning it will be proof of concept and hello world demos and stuff, right? YouTube educational stuff. And if it ever, like after a year or 2 or 3, becomes so self-hosting usable that it can build random open source stuff, like other systems, we of course will use T2 to fully automatically build the stuff like that. But I think this will always be like different options. Even if we support, we could also add support for some L4 kernel stuff and so on, or QNX and things like that. And yeah, but the microkernel stuff will be different, will be independent, and will be optional to integrate with T2 or not. But that is, yeah, and yeah, something of that sort. Johnny asks, what does T2 mean? T2, I just updated this on the GitHub page, right? And it's also documented. So T2, we forked off of Rock Linux. I was major part of Rock Linux. I was stable release maintainer, and eventually, because the creator of Rock Linux at the time had crazy ideas of, I brought Subversion to Rock Linux, and we used Subversion quite a bit, and then Claire wanted some web management of, like, that was long before Git, by the way, and mostly we had this, I couldn't work in this, right? And this was one of the major things. Claire wrote some shell and web scripts they called Submaster for Subversion. It's like some web, like, I mean, in a way, a little bit like GitHub pull request things, but it slowed me down like 100%, right? I was one of the major, I was a stable release maintainer and one of the major driving forces of Rock Linux for those years, from 2000 to 2003 or something. And so basically I couldn't work in this framework, right? And also other contributors were constantly breaking too much random stuff. And then eventually in this combination, I said, okay, do your Rock Linux how you want to do it. We now try it differently. And so T2 stands for try to. Basically, I also mentioned that here in history. We now have here some more proper Git stuff. So T2 started as a community-driven fork of Rock Linux. Community meaning because Rock Linux was a little bit more centralized and around Claire, and I wanted more community and more, like, basically more freedom and not working in this Submaster web patch submission context. And yeah, Rock Linux also doesn't exist anymore, right? So T2 is the only alive version of Rock Linux, because obviously with the driving force of me leaving there and most community leaving with me, and nobody wanted to deal with web submitted patch stuff, then yeah. Anyway, so yeah, and started as an internal name for try2, like T2, try2, second try, and or technology 2 stuff. And the idea, it was just like we fork it, we do our stuff, and we name it like, yeah, try2, because it was our second try of me maintaining, me and my friends and stuff maintaining that. And I only basically, like, quickly overnight used it for the Subversion repository, and we actually always thought, like, for a year we choose a proper name, but somehow we never done, because like after 6 months T2 was in 2004 so known that it made at that time no sense to change it. So what was a nightly quickly chosen Subversion repository name remained the name for now. And anyway, as usual, leave me in the comments below what you think about all the stuff, including Rust and the T2 name, microkernels and stuff. So yeah, Firefox. So Firefox is building with this Rust, so that is actually, we could, now that we already built, so 14, we could quickly, you know what, let's nice that here. Oh, this was already nice. Okay, fair enough, we cancel that for nothing. Do we nice that too? Oh darn, we nice it too. Okay, that's not helpful. Let's wait, how many minutes are we into? Are we already in 4 minutes into that build? Let's see Firefox build, so then we have the two violated. We could. I still need to automate that, so let's rebase and push that. Then today's things are on GitHub while we wait for that. But yeah, the success of T2 continues after all this year on YouTube. Increasingly bug-free, increasingly just working, including Rust quickly hacked in a way that it actually works. Yeah, actually I could also run data for tests. Are we through with, I think with Firefox, they first built most of the Rust stuff, or first or in parallel. This is the wrong build. x86 at adm log, and then I go. That is, yeah, this is 5 minutes into the build of gcrust or something, compiling. Maybe it did not yet link. Also, yeah, super reassuring, right? The crazy thing is only live on this channel that, like, how much warnings are scrolling by of array subscript 8 is outside of array bounds there, and out of bounds of yeah. I mean, not to say that my code never has such stuff like that, but what we probably should do for the microkernel, again, right now I'm not the greatest in love with Rust. Maybe it certainly will not be C. It will at least be like sane C++. Is there something like, anyway, embedded lightweight C++ to keep my sanity. And we probably should have our code always in some state. I saw some more warnings. Yeah, they also built with Clang, right? So we built this a little bit out of spec with GCC. We always build usually all our stuff with a default system compiler, which is GCC in our case. Let's maybe check that. Or does it of, yeah, yeah, no, yes, no, maybe. All right, this needs to be color GCC. No, where is even? It's also funny how old the stuff is, right? Target OS ABI Linux GCC 3, because like no major changes since GCC 3. I mean, sure, you don't want to break the ABI, but yeah, so that is i486 T2 Linux GNU G++. Do we have any what's our issues status? And then I really leave. No, actually, what is going on here? Yeah, if you want to work on some stuff, and if you're new to the stuff, we even have, you can even make money. I mean, not yet the most, but maybe later more. So if you want to implement here this bounties, you can earn some 10, 20, 40, 50 or so, depending on the bounty. Details here, right? Not like other open source projects, even putting money that is featured there. And just like that, we want to leave. Of course, we want to leave that stuff is still building. What do we? So, yeah. No tag writes, memory safety alone can't justify real slow build time. Yeah, this is also the question I have in general, not even the slow build times, but additionally, can you really build complex applications? I mean, so far Rust, by the way, what do we run here? Do we like run also Focus? I wonder if it's even possible to build big UI applications. Also, I have the feeling we are Rust LTO linking limited. We probably can continue our... Where is my... here. PowerPC 64 Evil. I wonder if with all the checks and if this checking is so expensive that it's maybe will prove next to impossible unless you have a quantum computer or stuff or an epic Threadripper or so to build complex UI applications. I wonder if, like, for the programmer to even write such complexly specified code with all the memory safety. I mean, you want memory safety, right? But there's a difference between coding sanely, right? And yes, tooling, like compilers checking after you, always the best thing, of course, formally verified and stuff. But if the syntax and the complexity to type, even for a programmer to write the stuff, and in such a way that Rust compiles it, and then the other thing of Rust getting so slow to prove this stuff, if you write all the code of Firefox or write all the code of Linux. In the Linux kernel, they now changed the header includes crazy stuff that they could cut down the build time by 60 to 80% or crazy numbers like that, or 60 to 70 or something. But the point is, to Firefox, if you would write the whole Linux kernel with all the drivers in memory safe Rust code, I guess you wouldn't have build times on an epic Threadripper Horizon of 5 minutes or 2.5 minutes. I wonder if that would be building a Linux kernel, a theoretically Linux kernel ported and implemented in Rust with all their 10,000 drivers, like compiling that, would it take, like, on the fastest epic Threadripper machine today, like an hour or two or day? And that is a question. I mean, I'm not a fan of C, and there are like a dozen of things you can make so much more amazing with C++. And yes, modern C++ also sucks balls and complexity and generics. And yes, all the latest decades features also mostly suck and stuff. But if you use a reasonable subset or Go with the kernel, or Zig maybe, and I said it before, right? Rust is not checking logic bugs. So it's checking memory borrowing, and you can still write bugs in Rust code anyway, right? Even if Rust compiles it, it's not saying, and just look on CVEs, right? We already had bugs and CVEs in Rust and stuff. So I think we need a 90%, we don't need a middle way. We need a like 90% way, I think. And my biggest grief with Rust R2 is the syntax is for me really hard to work with, plus the implementation of micro-dependencies. Maybe something like Zig is more amazing. I don't personally find Go the most amazing. Julia is pretty cool in many ways, and I think I still need to package that, right? Maybe we even have a bounty, right? If you want to earn some 10, 20, 30, maybe you want to package Julia if you don't want to me do it. Dr. Schubert says you probably would prefer Go over Rust general purpose, but for some users Rust might be better. So yeah, so this is also really building long, man. We have no second build, of course. But yeah, how long do we? Some Rust. See, how is this process running? Yeah, 3 minutes. Yeah, this is. The thing is, even with this kind of bottlenecks, or Epic or Threadripper would not even help me that much, right? With some final Rust LTO linking running was one even running 6 minutes. What is the boost frequency already known? I think not, right? Ryzen. Although for the maybe the new, is it Ryzen? What was it? Ryzen 7000? I lose the overview of this confusing AMD names. Also, we want thread 5990. What was there a clock speed known, or probably not? Huh? Or do we have here startup core frequency? Where do we have boost? Do we have, is that the maximum boost or? Yeah, so maybe this stuff wouldn't help me the most with, unless, yeah, actually for this year we had on the to-do list to embarrassingly parallel. Because I think a Threadripper would probably not even build this much faster, or except, what was the cache? Except maybe caches and memory bandwidth. Yeah. I mean, to be really honest to ourselves, a Ryzen, what is even I so lose overview of their naming shit. Was it Ryzen 7000? Yeah, so Ryzen 7000. So they have mobile 5000, mobile 6000, yeah, and then maybe like a 5 gigahertz. And that is the crazy thing, that's a Threadripper. I wanted a Threadripper last year, and maybe the crazy thing is last year I probably would have purchased it, but now so much time has passed, and Zen 3 is already so much older that by now AMD has lost the sale a little bit on me, because I'm not really feeling like this year buying a Zen 3 Threadripper when Zen 4. And that's the crazy thing, right? I was so often saying, yeah, Threadripper next year on this channel and stuff. In the meantime, it's a little bit oldish for me, especially with DDR4 and the maximum frequencies. And even for my power, and that's the crazy thing, right? The compute power these days, even for my quite, we also built this, so yeah, Firefox built here live on this channel, 32-bit 486. Even for my workload, I mean, not only is a Ryzen 5950X enough, maybe even a Ryzen 7000. I would probably get more video views because more people search for that, buying that for home instead of Threadripper. But additionally, it might even be for the single package use case, not building an embarrassingly parallel distribution or 24 of those, but for the single package use case, maybe a Ryzen 7000 with better boost and DDR5 might even be better. Anyway, so yeah, stuff is building. That's what we want here. We want to see stuff building. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hope to see you soon for more stuff building and development of, yeah, we will follow up. I will test that, the thing to test this. That's a crazy thing, right? We need to test, not only do we need to code and test, more tests, the most tests. How can we continue to test this with the next release of Rust 158 or so? We can delete this patch and then bootstrap that. It only takes like an hour or so to get to that point. Maybe we could selectively rebuild Rust only and then check if this patch is still needed, or if they actually checked their stuff. Did we had a second Rust? We had Rust and Cargo. Did we build Cargo already? Maybe what we can try next, I'm these days not the most in the office, but when I'm more in the office again later this year, we could try, because this is Rust for 486, right? We could try and go back in time and see what oldest we have previous videos, right? I even brought some 486s, and I even brought some previously not yet shown 586 class processors that are rare and stuff. I have there in the meantime a not yet even shown collection. We can go back on just for the kicks and giggles and see run Rust and Cargo on at least 586 for sure. 486 we need to see if the libatomic stuff and atomic operation stuff works, because I've previously seen Firefox to crash with atomics on 486. We will see if we can. I mean, it doesn't make much. Yeah, 486 doesn't even have enough memory. It would be an achievement probably to get latest Firefox start on a 586. Even that will probably be difficult to find enough memory, I guess. So build stuff, and let's double check. Did we build Cargo 2? Okay, we built Cargo 2 already. Yeah, what I probably I mean, I could just commit it and call it a day. Theoretically, I could change into that sandbox and rebuild Rust and see if it... Yeah, but I guess it's, yeah, crazy stuff. This, I have no words. This is so crazy. If I wouldn't live stream it, I wouldn't believe it myself that Rust failed to build itself. It's so sad. It's so... Anyway, see you next time.